Hello and welcome to Power Up. Today we have the Oculus Quest 2 unboxing. But are the specs really that good? Is it worth the price tag? And are Facebook being controversial? Stay tuned to find out. Hey guys, if this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date with the latest tech news, reviews and comparisons, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss anything. So today we'll be unboxing the Oculus Quest 2. But first, I came across a nostalgic clip the other day of the first VR system that I ever saw. It was back in 1992 during the show Games Master, where two people would go head to head to determine who was superior. In Season 2, there's an episode where two contestants play a VR game called Catch the Flag. The objective being 3 minutes to get the most knockdowns. And I remember dreaming of a VR headset that you could just put on and be taken to another world where the graphics could be super realistic. VR nowadays is a lot more popular and it's kind of getting there. I've put timestamps in the description if there are any parts you want to jump straight to. Right, without further ado, let's get unboxing. So this is the box. It says from Facebook over here, Oculus Quest 2. And again on top, a big Oculus logo. It also says the size over here. Look around the back. It does show a few games. Population 1 over there and Beat Saber. Alright, so let's get this open. Wow, I do actually like this cardboard style box. Okay, so let's start by opening this. Okay. So we got a booklet. It's a reference guide, warranty papers. Here we have a 1 meter USB-C to USB-C cable. The buttons feel bigger, or is it just me? A bit clickier as well. This is from the original Quest. So the buttons are a bit smaller. Just feel a lot more comfortable. And also, the battery compartment on the Quest is here. But on the Quest 2, I believe they've moved it now to the side. Over here, rather than it being at the front. Now, some people had issues where this would fly open when they were playing games. I never really had that though. And let's take a look at the headset. It's quite similar in design, but a lot smaller, I'd say. Okay. And here we can actually move the lenses. It's on number 3 now, and that will change the distance between each eye. We also have a speaker over here, kind of on head strap. And we have a glasses spacer. For those of you who have glasses and need a bit more room, just add this inside. So let's take the paper off. The strap does actually remind me a lot of the Oculus Go's. And let's quickly compare it with the Oculus Quest. And the Oculus Quest has this rubber head strap. So let's take a quick look at the headset. So those are the 4 cameras. And you've got a power button here. And there's a USB-C. So I'd like to start off with a couple of things. If you already own a Quest 1, all games and purchases should also be available on the Quest 2, as they both share the same Oculus store. So if you've just bought a game on the Quest 1, you'll also be able to download and play it on your Quest 2. The other thing I'd like you to keep in mind throughout this review is the price. This VR headset is insanely cheap for how good it is, at £299 for the 64GB version. When I first heard about the rumoured specs, I expected a price tag of no less than $500. I'll be making some comparisons to the Valve Index, as it is my favourite and go-to PC VR headset at this time. The Quest 2 works as both a standalone device and can also be connected to a PC via a USB-C cable. You can access both SteamVR and the Oculus Store from your PC as well. Let's take a look at the specs. It has 6GB of RAM over the original Quest 4 and a resolution of 1832 by 1920 per eye. That resolution is higher than the previous version of the Oculus Quest and also than that of the Valve Index, which in my opinion is one of the best consumer PC VR headsets available right now. The Quest 1 and the Valve Index both have a resolution of 1440 by 1600. There are 3 IPD settings on the Quest 2, which have to be set manually. IPD stands for interpupillary distance, which simply means how far apart your eyes are. This is important to be able to align the lenses to be in front of your eyes to get a clearer image. There are apps that can tell you what your IPD is, and I strongly recommend that you find out if you're planning on getting a VR headset. Now, unlike some other headsets that use an IPD slider that lets you simply slide the lenses closer or further apart, the Quest 2 needs a manual push where you actually have to push on the side of the lens to snap it into place. So there are 3 IPD settings to choose from: 58mm, 63 and 68. My IPD is around the 62mm mark, so none of the positions would fit me exactly, and I'm hoping that the clarity of the image isn't going to be affected too much. There is said to be a minimal screen door effect on the Quest 2. The screen door effect is literally seeing a little grid-like pattern as if you're trying to look through a screen door. In terms of comfort, the Quest 2 is lighter than the Quest 1, 503 grams versus 571. The Quest 1 felt a bit heavy and not really a well-balanced headset in how it sits on your head, the front being a lot heavier than the back. The Elite strap also looks pretty good, and I expect it to be a lot more comfortable, but the latest reports have shown that a lot of those are cracking. Where the Quest 2 falls short in the display area is the screen refresh rate, which is currently 72 Hz. The home environment, however, and the Oculus browser can run in 90 Hz, if the option is enabled in the experimental features section in the settings. As for games, they currently run at 72 Hz, until Oculus decide to enable the 90 Hz feature, which will be coming at some point. Again, keep in mind that this is a £299 headset. The Valve Index, just to compare, has a refresh rate of up to 144 Hz, giving a super smooth experience. But that would cost you £919 for the full kit, including the controllers and the 2 tracking base stations. Not to forget, if you don't currently own a strong enough PC, that could also cost you another £1,000 or so. The processor in the Quest 2 is the Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2, which has been upgraded from the Snapdragon 865 used in phones such as the Samsung Galaxy S20, as well as the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II. The original Quest used the Snapdragon 835 processor. The XR2 chip in the Quest 2 is said to have 2 times the CPU and GPU performance than that of the original Quest. Inside-out tracking is used on the Quest 2 with the 4 front cameras, whose main purpose is to scan the area around you as well as the location of your controllers. This is a very flexible way to track how you're moving, making the Quest 2 a very portable device. You will, however, need to be in a room well lit for it to be able to function properly. I've experienced some glitchy tracking when playing some games on the Quest 1 in a room that was dimly lit. Full body tracking is not possible though, and the controllers need to remain in a place that the cameras can see. So for example, raising your arms above your head as well as behind your back isn't going to be recognized. Other devices such as the Valve Index use base stations placed in opposite ends of the room to be able to provide really highly accurate movement tracking. And because of the base station technology, this could technically work in a room that is pitch black. But the requirements of the base stations and a PC would make the Valve Index not a portable option. The controllers are bigger and heavier than that of the original Quest, around 30 grams more. But they are really comfortable, and the battery life for the controllers have been improved with better battery consumption, making them last for a pretty long time. There is no finger tracking though, so raising fingers individually aren't registered and emulated in the games. I'd have to say that the best controllers on the market right now are the Valve Index knuckle controllers that stick to your hand. It can also detect which fingers are no longer making contact with the controller, so in certain games you could be a little bit more expressive with your hands. But there is a feature called hand tracking on the Quest 2 that allows you to put your controllers down and simply use your hands and fingers to navigate around the menus and play some games. The downside here is that not every game supports hand tracking, but it is a really amazing experience to actually see your fingers in a virtual world. I did test this in the early days on the Quest 1 while it was still an experimental feature. And wow, seriously, it was just so much fun. Even just browsing through the menus, it kind of reminded me of the Xbox 360 using the Kinect to navigate menus, only this was way better. As more and more games come out that work with hand tracking, things could be a lot more interesting, like climbing and punching in games could become a lot more realistic. I can't wait to see where the future goes with hand tracking. With the Oculus Quest 1, I have never really used the speaker system on the headset. Although it works and is not that bad, but it's not great. I've always used a pair of Bose QC35 noise cancelling headphones, and you really get into games with a lot more of an immersive experience. And I also think that I'll be using them for the Quest 2. The Quest 2 speaker system is built into the strap, supposedly meant to offer better sound quality than the Quest 1, but I guess we'll have to see. This isn't the case for headsets like the Valve Index that have an off-ear speaker system, so I've played games on the Index like Half-Life Alyx, and the quality of the sound has been really good, and I haven't had any issues with it at all. One other thing I'd like to quickly say is that if you are new to VR, I strongly recommend that you stay away from roller coaster experiences or any games or apps rated as intense. This could cause motion sickness, resulting in you putting down the VR headset, saying that it's just not for you. And that would be a massive shame. I initially did have some motion sickness when I picked up VR for the first time, but there are a few tricks you can do to help you out. The biggest one for me was using a fan. Not only did it increase the realism of games, especially those that are set outside, but simply feeling the direction of the air will tell you where in the room you are as well. So Facebook now requires Oculus Quest 2 devices to use a real Facebook account containing your real name and your real information. There are Facebook bots constantly scanning for fake accounts and banning them, which of course is a great thing, encouraging a safer environment. However, it also means that if you created an account as Power Up VR and you've spent £200 on apps and games in that account, it could then get blocked. And the only way to reactivate the account is by showing a legal ID with Power Up VR as the official name. That's actually not a bad name. Facebook also lets you have only one account. So if you do have another, they may all get blocked until the correct one is verified. So before buying and setting up the Oculus Quest, you'd need to get your Facebook accounts in order. I'm personally not a big fan of this, but it won't stop me from using the Oculus Quest 2. How do you guys feel about this? Please comment below and let me know if you do have some strong feelings here. I'm really curious to see what you all think. So in summary, and this has to be based on the specs as I haven't tested the headset out myself yet, do I think the Oculus Quest 2 is a good headset to buy? Well, based on the specs, yes. Especially if you don't currently have a VR headset and are looking to get into it. Hey, it's future me. I wanted to get this video out there a lot sooner, but I really didn't want to recommend something that I hadn't tested myself. So I've taken some time to test the headset and play some games, and I remember the first thing I thought when I put the headset on was, it is a lot more comfortable than the Quest 1. And that was before using the Elite strap. And with the Elite strap, I felt the weight distribution was a lot better and it was really comfortable, and I much prefer having this kind of head strap than the original one. The second thing I thought was the screen was a lot clearer and the image was a lot sharper than it was on the Quest 1. And the screen door effect was barely visible unless I paid real attention to it. So that was just great. The third thing was the controllers. They were bigger, but really comfortable. So I stick with my recommendation as yes. Now, back to the summary. What you get for your money is incredible. My first Oculus product was an Oculus Go, which I purchased for around £245. It was a decent portable little headset at the time, which did have some fun little games, but was very cool with VR experiences such as Jurassic Park or watching concert events and things like that. But with one pointer style controller, the games were pretty limited. But now for £299, you get a reasonably high-spec portable wireless VR headset that could also be used as a PC VR headset as well. It has some great games, as well as being a great media device if you want to visit some VR cinemas or just meet up with some friends. I would also say that it would probably be worth upgrading from the Quest 1. You also don't need to splash out on a PC because, well, you just don't need one for it to work. It of course isn't as powerful as PC VR, so it all really depends on what you're looking for. There is also the question of whether giving Facebook your real and personal information is a thing you stand strongly against or not too concerned about. There are more premium PC VR headsets that I would recommend, like the HP Reverb G2, and of course my favorite, the Valve Index. But honestly, to me, the price tag for the Quest 2 just makes this the best value for money VR headset that currently has no real competition in this space. And this is the headset that others will have to compete with in terms of specs and price. I hope that was helpful, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. It really does mean a lot to me. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more. Peace.